In this video, we're going to be taking a look at one of Google's most exciting products, and it's fairly new. It's called Google Photos, and this kind of replaces what used to be called Picasa. It was a Google product for organizing photos and doing some basic editing and creating some fun projects. There was also something called Picasa Web Albums. But all of that now has been replaced by a product called Google Photos. As it says here, one home for all your photos, organized and easy to find. And even though this is not a perfect product, it's not a perfect solution for everyone, I've been very pleased with this Google Photos service and the kinds of things it can do for me and for my photos. So let's take a look at some of the nice features of Google Photos, and then we'll look at how to get set up with your own Google Photos account and get started organizing your photos. So what we have here with Google Photos is a place where we can store potentially an unlimited number of photos and videos, and they can all be stored in one place. Now, not only that, but they can be searched automatically. They're searchable. You can make albums out of them, and there's also this wonderful Google Photos Assistant. I just clicked on this Google Photos Assistant button, and this assistant has created for me some animations without me doing anything. These are just auto-generated. It took a little time, but Google Photos made these animations for me. I know you can't see them that well because I've grayed them out. They're personal photos, but this is an animation that I did not create. Google Photos created it. This is an album that again was auto-created by the Google Photos Assistant. This is a movie that was made from still images, and Google Assistant put it together. Now, if I like any of these and want to keep them forever, or maybe share them with people, I can just click Save to Library, and they'll be added to my account permanently. Now, you can also manually create these things here, and I'll show you how to do that a little bit later. But I just wanted to whet your appetite, get you interested in watching the rest of this presentation to learn how to set up your account so that you can get these amazing features. Okay, so let's assume that you're interested in using Google Photos. How would you get started? Well, I'm going to assume that you don't have a Google account at all. If that's the case, you just go to google.com, click Sign in the upper right corner, and you can click Create Account to get started with using some of Google's better services that are above and beyond just search. Just fill this in, click Agree to the Google terms, next step, and you'll be on your way to being set up with a Google account. So once you've done that and you're signed in, next all you need to do is go to photos.google.com, and it will take you here. Now notice that there's a pop-up that kind of tries to teach you some of the basics of using Google Photos. You can auto-upload from your devices if you would like. Google Photos will automatically organize and make searchable your photos, which is really exciting and cool. You can easily do some basic edits of your photos, and you can share very easily. Okay, so those are some of the cool features that Google Photos can do for you. But now that I've advanced through that pop-up, I'm ready to actually get started. As you can see right now in this account, I don't have any photos at all. And it tells me right away what I can do. Drag photos and videos anywhere to upload. Okay, so let's assume that on this computer that I'm using right now, that there are some photos that I would like to put into my Google Photos account. So as it says here, all I need to do is drag photos and videos anywhere to upload. So for example, let's say there are some photos on my desktop or in another area on my computer. I could just click here at the top of the browser, pull it to the side, find those photos, and click and drag those photos and drop them anywhere on this page to upload them. Now, you can do more than one at a time. You can just click and drag and drop those in. But once you do that, notice what it says. It says upload size. Choose how you want to upload photos and videos. Your preference is saved in settings, and you can change back and forth if you would like. So I have two very important settings here, and this is what prevents a lot of people from actually using Google Photos when they see this. But don't lose interest, don't lose heart quite yet. But there are two options. There's the high quality option, is what they call it. And what this is, Google gives you free unlimited storage of your photos. You could upload 1 million photos, and it would be totally free for you to do that. The catch is that Google will slightly reduce the file size of your photo. It'll be great visual quality, according to Google, but at a reduced file size. So basically what they're doing here is they are compressing your photos a little bit to make them a little smaller, and it reduces the file size, and some people think it would also reduce the quality of the image, but it's still great quality. The other option is to keep the photos at their original quality without reducing anything. It doesn't reduce the file size, doesn't reduce the quality of the photo. The thing is, if you do this option, you're limited to your account's storage limit, which in the case of this account, it's 15 gigabytes. So I could use that up in a year or 2 years, or less if I'm a professional photographer. So these are your two options. Completely unlimited, high quality, yes, but the photos will have been reduced in quality or file size at least, a little bit. Now, if you have an account through your work or through, let's say you're a teacher, through the school, and you're a Google Apps for Education school or district, you may be able to use this option. And if your institution has given you unlimited storage, which is pretty common in Google Apps for Education settings, or like I say, through a corporation or through your work, it's pretty common to have unlimited storage. If that's the case, and if they don't mind, then you could use that as your way of backing up all your photos. It would keep the original quality, full resolution, and because you have unlimited storage, it shouldn't count against your quota. Now, for most people, this option here, high quality, is actually great because unless you're a professional photographer or in some other profession where your photos are your way of making a living, this is going to be high enough quality. I mean, you're going to not notice a difference. You're going to see your pictures. They're going to look just as great as you expected. If you print them, they'll look great. Everything's going to look just fine if you choose this option here. But if you are a professional photographer or otherwise make your living through photographs, you might want to stick to this, which might mean that you would have to upgrade and pay for an account unless you get one through your work or through your school. So make your decision. In this case, I'm going to go with high quality, free, unlimited storage. I'll click continue, and now my photos are being uploaded. Now notice that there is an auto upload option. You can try the desktop uploader where basically it will help you sync and it will upload photos that you add to your computer and it will just put them into your account. You can do that if you like. For me, I don't really use that. And the reason why is because on my laptop and desktop computers, I have photos that I'd like to add to my Google Photos, but I just do it manually. I just click and drag and drop them in. And notice that you can also do that with entire folders. So I could click and drag on this folder, drop it there, and it will upload the entire folder of photos into my photo library. And so it's really not hard or time consuming to upload, a folder of 1,000 photos or even a lot more. You can just click and drag and drop it in. If you handle a lot of photos on your device, on your computer, laptop, desktop, then yeah, try this desktop uploader. But for me, most of the photos I take using my iPhone, and I just use the app to sync, and it would work just as well with an Android phone or tablets. So I've decided not to use the desktop uploader. Now, from time to time, when you upload from your computer, you may see a warning like this, one upload skipped. I'm going to click View Skipped, and it's going to show me what it skipped. Okay, so in this case, it's not really even a photo. That's why it skipped it. So I'm fine with that. I click continue and it says, okay, 9 items uploaded. Now at this point, I can just leave them uploaded, just all mixed together with all my other photos, or I could say add to album. Let's do that. I'm going to click add to album and I'll create a new album and I'll title this Family. Hit return or enter, and I now have a special album called Family. So now going back, notice it took me to my albums page, and here is my family album. I'm going to go back up here now to photos to show you that those same photos are also just mixed in with all of my photos, in addition to being here together in an album. Now, one of the great things about Google Photos is it's not limited just to photos. You can upload videos, and it's just the same steps that I just showed you. You could upload, depending on how you set up your account, unlimited number of videos that you create or that you have a right to or that you take. You could upload into your account. Now, if that was all that Google Photos did, I might not be that excited about it. I mean, it's great that you can upload photos and videos, and it's great that you can have unlimited storage. Those are all nice features. But what really sells me on using Google Photos is the fact that I think it is the solution for the age-old problem that we have nowadays of having all these photos on our smartphones, right? Where do we put them? What do we do with all these thousands of photos? Our cell phones get stuffed with these photos and videos, and we run out of space. And so where do we put them? Well, if you're like me, you put them on Dropbox, you put them in OneDrive, you put them in Google Drive, you kind of store them wherever you can. But then, of course, they also take up space in those services. So maybe now you try Amazon Photos, and pretty soon you have images and videos in 4 or 5 different services. They're not all together. And then how do you know where to go to find that photo of your vacation or that photo of a wonderful project that you do in class? Your photos and videos are just scattered all over the internet and on your hard drives on your computer. Well, I think Google Photos is the solution to those problems. And let's take a look at how that might be the case. Now, I'm going to show Google Photos on an iPad, but just know that it works even better, really, on an iPhone or on an Android phone. And that makes more sense anyway, because most people take more of their photos with their cell phone than they do with a tablet. But just pretend like this is an iPhone. So I'm going to open up Google Photos. Let's say I've just barely downloaded this. It opens up on my iPhone. There's a welcome message, and it talks about getting started. And then you need to put in your email address. And it helps if you've already set your account up online like I showed you. But you could also set up your account this way if you prefer. But I'm just going to go ahead and tap Next. It's going to ask for my password. I tap Next. And there are some options that I need to select from. Now in this case, it's only showing one option, but very often you see 2 or 3 options. But the most important of those options, I think, is this one, the one that is showing here. And it's called Backup and Sync. All you need to do is turn that on and leave it on, and any photos or videos that you take with your iPhone or other smartphone that has Google Photos installed on it and that you're logged in with, it will automatically sync those videos and pictures to your Google Photos account. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to bother uploading. It will just take care of it for you. So I'm going to select Turn On, so it turns that on. Now there is an option that you typically will see where you can turn on syncing when you don't have Wi-Fi. In other words, it will use your data plan to sync. And I turn that off because I don't want to use up my data plan minutes and file limitations by doing uploads that I could just do on Wi-Fi. So basically, in summary, you want to have this turned on, Backup and Sync, and if you have the option for uploading even when you're not connected to Wi-Fi, you want to have that turned off. And I'm sure the reason that's not showing up for me here is because I'm on an iPad instead of on a device that has a data plan. When you're ready, just tap Continue there in the lower right corner. Then you need to make the decision again of high quality uploads, but it's actually reduced a little bit, as you can see here, but it's unlimited, or you can go with the original full quality, full resolution photos, but you're limited to your account's limit of, in this case, 15 gigabytes of storage. So I'm going to go with this high quality version here, and then I'll just tap Continue in the lower right. Now it shows me how to pinch to zoom. It shows me how to select multiple photos just by tapping and holding and then dragging my finger. That's how you can select multiple photos on a mobile device like an iPad or an iPhone. I'll tap this checkbox here and notice how quickly it synced. Now on my iPad, I see those images that I uploaded earlier onto my laptop, but I also see new images, ones that have been uploaded from my iPad or that are in the process of uploading. Now, once you do this on your smartphone, make sure you give it some time. It will take some time to upload all of those photos and videos that you've been hoarding on your phone. So give it time. But once it's finished, and you can see that it's still in progress if it has these arrows here, but once it's finished, your account will be loaded with tons of photos, and there's some really exciting things that you can do with them, like I showed toward the beginning of the presentation. So let's jump back to the web version of this and see how we can do some of those exciting things. Okay, so here I am back in my Google Photos homepage on the internet, and you can see that it's uploading some other images and videos, and they'll keep popping up and adding to my account as I continue with this presentation. But what I want to show you now is a couple of neat things that you can do. Now that these photos are in my account, I can go up to the top and do a search for my photos. And notice it will start to recognize faces. At this point, it's only had these photos for a little while, and it only recognizes one distinct face. So I could click on that face and select who is this and put in a name. Click Done. Now, from now on, if I want photos of Julia, I can just type in Julia and all of the photos of her will appear. Now, it's amazing how this works. It'll go back years. It will find photos of Julia that maybe I would have uploaded that are years old, and yet it can tell that it's still Julia. So it's pretty cool. Once you get all of your photos in there, it will start to recognize people as long as you will label them, and then you can search and find images of them that you have uploaded. Also, you can type in things like, in this example, cat. I just typed in cat and it found my cat photos. Okay, I'm going to try again. I'm going to try man. I hit enter and it did okay, not completely okay. But as you know, this is what Google is famous for and is really excellent at, and that is searching. And it's automatically searching images that I have not labeled for the most part. And it's recognizing that this is a man, and so when I type in man, it shows the picture of the man. And so your photos that you upload into Google Photos will be searchable by you. Now that's not all. We've been looking mostly here in this button here that says Photos, but if you go up to the top where it says Assistant, you can click on that, and over time, after you give your account a few days to breathe and to finish uploading and syncing, the Assistant will start to give you content that is auto-generated. So for example, it will give you animations that it has created for you. It will stitch together photos or videos and make interesting animations and say, look at this animation I made. Do you like it? If you do, save it to your account. It will automatically create collages of photos that seem to go together. And then again, it will ask you, do you like this? Do you want to add it to your account? If so, click Add to Account. And so these are some really cool features that the Assistant will generate. Now, right now, I don't have any auto-generated creations that the Assistant has made for me. This account is too new. It needs some time to analyze things and to create some animations for me. But the good news is I can create them myself if I want to. I can click on Animation. It takes me to my photos, and I can click on the photos that I would like to animate. So I want to animate all 5 of these cat photos, turn them into an animation. And so I could click on each one at a time, or I could just click on the first, hold the Shift key, and then click on the final image that I want to use. And then I'll just click Create, and it's creating an animated GIF. When it's finished, I get a preview of what that's going to look like. And you can see, just like any animated GIF, it's going to cycle through the pictures and then it's going to repeat. Now, if I like that, there's some things I can do with it. I can share it, okay? And I could share it by putting it into a shared album, or I could share it in these other ways. I'm just going to cancel. You can also delete it if you want to. You can put in some info about it. And in the More options, you can create a slideshow or download this to your computer. Now, one pretty easy way to download this to your computer is just to pull your browser to the side, and then you can click and drag that animated GIF to your desktop, and it should create an animated GIF right there on your desktop. And it did in this case. But like I said, you can also just go up here to the top, click the 3 dots, and choose Download. Okay, I'm going to go back and let's look. I'm going to go back to my Assistant. I can very easily also create a collage. Okay, just select the images that I want to turn into a collage, click Create. It creates the collage for me. And again, I can share it. I can download it if I want to. I could add it to an album so it stays in my account. I'll put it into my family album there. So now when I go back, it's saved into my family album. Now, there are other things you can do. You can create a shared album, just fill it up with pictures you want to share with somebody or with a group of people, and then you share it with them, and everything in there will be accessible by them. Or you could just create an album that's not shared, okay? Like my family album. Now, where do those albums go? If you remember, there's this 3rd button down here that says Albums. You can click on it and see the different albums that you've created. Some of these albums are auto-created by Google Photos. For example, the things, album, people, places, videos, those are all kind of auto-generated collages. But ones like this one, like my family one, that is not auto-created. I created that album myself and chose photos to put in it. Now, there are a few other things that you could look into and learn on your own, And you can find some of them here in these three dots at the left. If you click on there, you can see there's information about the shared items. There's links to your settings and some help. In settings, that's where you can change the kind of uploads that you want to do if you change your mind. And there's a lot of other things you should look at there in the settings. But jumping back into my photos page, I do want to point out that another way to upload is you can just click this button here to upload photos and add them into your account. So that's another way to do it. And then also I want to point out how to share. Let's say I want to share this photo. I can just click on it and click share, and I could click get a link, and it gives me a link just for this specific photo, and I can send that out to people. You can also share albums, so I'll jump back down to albums. I'll click on this particular album and choose share. There's some options here that I could play around with, but for the most part I just click get link. It generates a link, I copy that and send that out to people that I want to share this album with. There are some sharing options as well. You can click on that, and there's some nice things that you can do there. So we've looked at the different aspects of the Google Photos website. We've looked at how you can sync and upload your photos from your smartphone or your tablet using the Google Photos app. We've looked at what it's capable of as far as generating animations and collages and all sorts of other neat things, and also how you can manually create them. So hopefully you can see some of the potential of Google Photos. There are so many great things that you can do with it, and for me, it's a game changer in that it's one place where I can store all of my photos and videos. Once they're there, I can search through them to find pictures of my family, pictures of my friends, specific people. I can search for objects that I've taken pictures of, and I can create some amazing projects, and I can share these things with others when appropriate. I think there are many applications for this tool in our own personal lives as well as in the classroom. So if you're a teacher or a student, I hope that you'll think about some of the ways you might be able to use this in an educational setting. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos about technology for teachers and students.